Peace, everyone, and happy Six of Hearts week. We are now in the sixth week of 2026, and that aligns with the Six of Hearts card. So, in this video, we will be going through all the cards that the Six of Hearts is playing in their life path, where they sit, and what type of energy we can expect this week as a collective. Let me zoom in so we can see it a little bit better. All right. So, Six of Hearts, right? First and foremost, sixes are energies of karma, timing, fate, destiny, alignment, intuition, right? And when we look at the number six, it starts at the top and it goes back down and into itself. So it is very much you're getting back what you put out into the world, right? And since we're talking about a heart, this is about love, relationships, emotion, passion, all the feels, right? And so in this week, right, we could have relationships under review or relationships coming back from the past. Sixes can kind of feel like deja vu. We've done this before. You feel familiar. Have we met, right? Like that familiarity. That's the right word if I said it right. Anyways, and sixes also, there's a slower pace with sixes. It's very much about trusting what you feel, allowing yourself to feel, slow down. But with this six, because where does it sit? So this is Mars, and so is this. So the Six of Hearts sits Mars on the plate. That's its natural energy. So it's a little bit different than the other sixes. There's a lot of passion, a lot of drive, a lot of force, a lot of energy, especially around the emotions. Now, they call it the Peacemaker card, and it wants peace, but sometimes that can show up as like control or force, right? So you may have to find a balance this week. Slow things down, allow things to kind of go at a slower pace rather than trying to rush it and prove it and force it, right? So the Six of Hearts sits Mars. So there is a lot of drive. There is a lot of passion. There's a lot of love too. It's like a fire gets lit and it's like, I want this and I want it now. But remember, this is divine timing. This is karmic alignment. This is fate and destiny and those connections that they do take time to build and to, have and really allowing that and rather than forcing it. So all right, now with the Six of Hearts, the two cards in the box that it sits in are the supporting karma card and the challenging karma card. The supporting karma card is a Three of Diamonds. So they are, maybe coming from a very creative, expressive, even a risk-taking type of energy. This is a card of being able to express yourself, being able to kind of see things from multiple different places. Very good in business, very good in creating multiple streams, but they're really trying to leave the lower side of that, which would be like not trusting yourself, not following through on projects and stuff like that. So, and that's the thing with the sixes, it very much, again, going back into self. So trusting yourself, not looking outside of yourself for answers, for resources. It's really like feeling in from that heart space. And this is what I know, this is what I want, that intuitive ability. And then their challenging karma card is a Four of Clubs. So it's interesting. They go that three and then that four, where threes can be scattered and a lot is going on, and fours are more orderly, more productive, more stable, more secure. So they're leaving that scatter, restless energy and really getting into more contentment, again, that satisfaction, that peace. But it's going to require following through, not just starting a bunch of stuff and, because that three will get stressed, it'll get overworked, it'll get over worried, and then it could completely shut down and procrastinate. But with the fours, it brings satisfaction, it brings contentment, it brings that peace, but you've got to like finish the goal, finish the project. So those are the challenging and the supporting karma card for the Six of Hearts. Now, the Mercury card is a Four of Clubs. You're going to notice they have like you call it an easier spread because they have more even numbers and the odd numbers, like the Five of Hearts week we're coming out of. So this energy can definitely feel a lot different, right? A Four of Clubs and Mercury, getting productive, getting clear about what you want. This may even be like a good week to read a romance novel or a book you've been putting to a side, because that Four of Clubs and Mercury loves like that, just relaxing the mind, thinking more, clearing, and really, it's interesting how we've come off the Leo full moon now into the Virgo moon, more order, more, okay, details, more things getting cleared, things getting done, getting more productive. So you may have felt that, as the moon had shifted as well. Now just watch the closed mindedness, the stubbornness, being rigid, being not open to other opinions or thoughts or whatever, and really, getting stuck, because that's the low side of this, especially the 6 and the 4, is that complacency, a lazy energy, not really getting anything going, right? Now, their Venus card is a 2 of diamonds. Makes them great negotiators, great for business, great for connections. They just got to make sure they're not moving from any like codependency, any fears or control. But those partnerships got to have value, right? It just can't be like, am I halfway in? Am I halfway out? Is this like a friends with benefit type thing? Like, what are we doing? What are we building? Are we creating something that's valuable? That's important to that 6 of hearts with that 2 of diamonds in Venus. So, and if relationships do come back around, does this have any more value? Has it served its purpose? Do I keep trying or do I let it go? You may sit with that this week, right? But so creating those connections that really have value, that really have meaning, that are also reciprocated too. It's not a one-way street, right? Now, the Mars card for the 6 of hearts is the Jack of Spades. So a couple of things. One, this is great for physical activity, really like building your body, like taking that energy, because again, remember, this sits Mars. It's a lot of passion. And if you don't got anywhere to put it, it can, it can definitely be intense. So physical activity is definitely beneficial with the Jack of Spades here in Mars. The biggest thing too is it's a one-eyed Jack, so you have to be mindful of like turning a blind eye, not seeing the full picture, not being honest with yourself. And that's a big thing with this energy, because we know the Jack of Spades is a card that can wear masks. It can be a chameleon. It can be an actor. It can be anybody it wants. It's literally the magician card, right? So that 6 of hearts has that ability. They can switch it up. They can move to a room. I like to say the Jacks can go from the Waffle House to the White House all in a day. So they know how to fit in. But this also gives them extreme creative abilities, the ability to wear many different hats, right? You just got to be careful of like turning a blind eye, lying to yourself, and even more, like, because this is such a passionate card, like the feels can get a lot, right? So the Jack of Spades can be a card of trying to escape, trying to run, trying to avoid. So don't avoid the feels, move through them. And again, if that means like boxing, I like to box, moving your body in some physical way, that can definitely help with that energy. So, and what's interesting, I know I'm kind of backtracking, the card that pushes or supports the 6 of hearts, which is sometimes called another moon card, is the King of Diamonds. That is also a one-eyed card. So they have to be careful of that blindsidedness, not seeing the full picture, turning a blind eye. But this also gives them a great sense in being supported in business, bossing up, making brilliant decisions, financial decisions, knowing how to run businesses, that mastery, that confidence, right? So anyways, during this week, like, don't escape, don't run, like really face it, take a good look at it, and then alchemize it, because truthfully, that's the Jacks, that initiation to that higher way, that more royal, that's the bridge to the Queen and the King. Now, their Jupiter card is the 8 of clubs. This is one of the cards that makes them very brilliant. Their mind is able to really focus, overcome obstacles, and really higher learning, higher studies. You would think they could easily get many degrees, but they can also really teach themselves as well, right? And this 8 of clubs in Jupiter makes them, again, very smart, could do well with groups of people, especially in spaces of like teaching, educating, bringing some kind of advanced knowledge to people. But the low side is because that is also a fixed card. So it can get very stuck and rigid and fixed in its mind, its beliefs. This is why it's really can be a very stubborn energy. So this week, just be mindful of that. Be flexible, be open, right? Don't be too set. It has to be this way, or it has to come at this time, because I'm going to tell you now, it's not your time, it's divine time. It's when it's the best time for you, right? So don't get caught up on that, because that can make it a very frustrating energy. Again, you get back what you put out with the 6s. So anyways, 8 of clubs, again, great to be able to overcome the mental obstacles. If you do get stuck in your mind, like really, that's when you got to really do that work and like keep it going, keep it moving. Now, their Saturn card is a six of diamonds. So they are a six birth card and their Saturn is a six. Anytime there's a six in Saturn, it's like double, triple karma, right? If the six of spades, it'd be like triple karma. But since it's the six of diamonds, we'll say double karma, right? They have to be, responsible in business, finances. Don't create debt. Actually pay any debts that you may have this week. Settle up anything because you're just like, you're not creating any more irresponsibility because even with this six of diamonds and Saturn, there is that strong essence of like, you will get back what you put out. So if you don't like what's showing up, you can adjust. But if I always say with the sixes, if you like what's showing up, keep doing more of what you've been doing. If you don't like what's showing up, you make those adjustments, make those changes. But you can't try to change the outside. You got to change the inside. You got to go within and do that reflective work, like that internal cleanse, if you will, and say, okay, let me try something different, right? But six of diamonds, financial responsibility, not creating any debt, paying any debt, settling any debts. And again, because of this heavy six, pay attention to who's showing up. Pay attention to who may be leaving. It's all in divine time. It's all aligned. It's all exactly as it's supposed to be, and have peace with that. Like that's the key, is like, this was supposed to go, or this was supposed to come, right? I always, with sixes, I'm very like aware and mindful because it's a mirror. I'm getting back what I've put out. So it's a good way to kind of do that inventory, right? Now their Uranus card is the four of spades. Remember, their Mercury card was a four, and now their Uranus card is a four. So there is a lot of structure. There is a lot of discipline. There is a lot of grounding. There is a lot of focus. There is a lot of hard work. And when they really do put in the work, they can have a lot of satisfaction, a lot of goals, a lot of accomplishments. This also, again, makes them very intuitive, especially when they're clear and they're focused, the downloads that can come, the sudden breakthroughs that can come. And this also gives them that ability to heal. Four of spades, all fours can bring like the ability to overcome obstacles, the ability, especially within health. And this also will make them very strong-willed and can be strong body and taking better care of themselves because they're trying to build something solid, right? Now, their Neptune card is the Ten of Hearts. So that being loved, being surrounded by love, having support, through family, through friends, through spiritual practices. It's also about opening up that heart. That's big spiritual love, if you will, right? That's feeling loved, but at the same time, like, you feel that from within first and foremost. You're not looking out it from, to receive it, even though that does feel good, no doubt. But if you're only dependent on that, that can be disappointing. It has to come from within. Ten of Hearts can also make them very good with socializing, a performer type of energy. Again, putting something out there. It may take some time. It may take some effort, but it will grow legs, right? Now, their Pluto card is the Ten of Diamonds. So this can be about money and business and expansion, but this is deeper. Like, you can't be afraid to want more. You can't be afraid to want more success. You can't be afraid to want more expansion. And so there can be some triggers this week on like, can I handle it? Am I worth it? Can I have more? And if that comes up, sit with yourself. Where is this coming from? Why do I feel this way? What's stopping me? Because what are tens? One, the I, the me, the self with the zero, the higher self. So it's you against you. It's you in that mirror, right? If you want more, then you have to really see your worth, your value, and really open up for it. But since it's in Pluto, that's our triggers. That's our trauma. That can be stuff that like hits us that we didn't even know. It's like, whoa, what am I afraid of? Why? Putting something out there, expanding, increasing. Yes, there can be some themes around money, this, collectively stock market stuff there. It's Pluto. There could be some upheaval. There could be some, death and rebirth around value, around resources. We've had Uranus go direct in Taurus as of like last night or something. So there can be some, and it's stationary and it's going to move to the last degree, in the next month or so. So we're going to build to very interesting energy, to say the least. So that Ten of Diamonds is in Pluto is like, you're worth it. You've got to, how bad do you want it, right? And then the result card is the Eight of Spades. So as long as you can get over this Ten of Diamonds and like maybe any fears around your worth, your value, your cost, your price, whatever, you can succeed. Think about it. Their Jupiter is an 8, and then their reward card, their cosmic reward, is an 8. So it's their consistency, it's their effort. That's how you get over the hump. It's how you get over the speed bump. It's how you get over the challenges. You don't give up, no matter what. But this also can make them forceful, control, bullyish, like a sledgehammer coming in. So it's just it's a balance, right? It's this is what I want, but without like the force. You don't have to bulldoze, right? Because that's kind of sometimes the low side of the eights and the sixes. They can really be forceful. So, but this also, your body, taking better care of yourself, dedicating yourself, committing to yourself, you're making yourself stronger, whether it's physically, mentally, emotionally, financially, all of it. And then their cosmic moon, or I'm sorry, their cosmic lesson is the Ace of Hearts. It's fascinating to me. Think about it. Six of Hearts, and then the cosmic, and even their Saturn being that six, and now their cosmic lesson being an ace. What did I say in the beginning? When you look at the six, what does it do? It starts at the top, and then it goes back down and into the self. What are the aces? The self. So it's self-love, fulfilling your own needs, your own desires, doing things you love to do, realizing, again, it's just a mirror. Everything is just a reflection with this energy. So you have to look at yourself. You have to, have that spark. If you want that to match, it starts with you. So this week, especially within relationships, don't look at the other, look at yourself, because that is just a mirror of you anyways. Maybe you have to pour more love into yourself. Maybe you have to do things you love. Because what this card also is, it can be a strong yearning, a strong desire for love, for affection, for attention. But if you start looking outside of yourself, you kind of give your power away to other people, right? But also, what this also teaches you is not everybody has the same desires as you. Not everybody loves the same way as you. Not everybody wants to give or receive love the same way that you do, because they're not you and you are not them. So this really is like you have to do for you, and really, spark that flame, that love, that heart, that heartbeat within yourself. And then you'll see how everything starts to come back to you. So loving yourself, prioritizing yourself is key, and trusting yourself, listening to yourself, what you feel, all the things. Now their cosmic moon is also an ace of diamonds. So again, trusting your intuition. This also can make them very impulsive, ready to move. Remember, they sit Mars. So that's already a very intense, volcano type of energy. And now the ace of diamonds is their moon. So it can make them impulsive. It can make them impatient. It can make all of us impulsive and make all of us impatient, especially in our emotions and what we want and when we want it. And we want it now. So we have to be careful of that, temper tantrum that could possibly happen when it comes to the love and the relationships and the receiving. Again, value yourself. See your worth. It doesn't, yes, everybody wants those connections, but what's the connection with self first? Because those connections mirror that connection you have with yourself. And then their transformation card is the Queen of Diamonds. So they're transforming into royalty. So this week, don't dethrone yourself. Pour more into yourself. This Queen of Diamonds also makes them brilliant in business, great networkers, great marketers, great bringing people together, and also at the highest, being very generous to the people that they love, but also being very generous to themselves, trusting their intuition, what they feel, what works, what doesn't work, not looking outside themselves. Because again, that Six of Diamonds is pushing them. That's boss. That's big time. They've got everything they need, So very strong week. Pay attention. This is a very karmic energy about your connections, your love, your relationships. If a relationship does come back, you may have to sit does it have value, or is it just, playing with me, whatever, and really sit with those things. Take your time, allow that love to grow within you. And then it'll reflect back into those partnerships. That's key with this energy. Have patience though, because again, it sits Mars. It can be intense. We're building to a lot of interesting energy. We've got eclipse season, new moon, Saturn and Neptune. It's just going to intensify. So even sometimes with the sixes, it's okay to slow down. It's okay to rest. It's okay to take everything in. And it's okay to let the feels move. Don't let them get stuck, because that can be intense. So allow them to move, allow them to flow. And again, find an outlet. That'll be key with that Jack of Spades in Mars, really finding something to do, create, have fun, play with. That'll really help with this energy. So I hope it's a beautiful week of love. And I'll be back next week for the Seven of Hearts week. And I hope you all have a great one. Talk to you next time. Peace.